Welcome to our 100th episode. Okay, my grumble this week is about Grumbles. Welcome to Grumble Goat. I'm Veronique Hurley. This is a show about all the small things that drive Matt insane. This week, it's my grumble. Let's grumble. And I would like to read the definition out loud. Grumble.
Grumble.
Complain about something in a bad-tempered way. His father was grumbling that he hadn't heard from him. Make a low, rumbling sound. Grumble, 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 grumble. It's the 100th episode. Woo! We did this for 100 weeks. Can you believe it? So yeah, I'm complaining about grumbles. I'm complaining about people that just grumble about things. The reason why I do it every 10 episodes, because I'm not the type of person that grumbles about things. I'm not a grumbly goat. That's Matt. He's the grumble goat. He's the one who thinks of things constantly. However, I am an observational grumbler. Like today, rainy day dog poop. Hello. Everywhere. Like it is just something that I have to deal with on a daily basis. Grumbling. I'm grumbling because I hate butter knives. Here's the thing. We're all allowed to be upset and to have these little gripes and vendettas to a certain degree. But when it's constant, it's hard to be around, to listen to someone complain all the time. You know those people. You go up to them, you talk to them, you say, hey, how was your week? And they're like, well, you know, I stepped in some rainy day dog poop. And you're like, but then something else happened to them. And then they're a martyr of their own life. The martyrer people that are like, oh, well, I did this. No, it's just everyday things that we have to deal with on a daily basis. You know, gym fees or the forest floor, everything, whether it's traffic lights or a kangaroo, you know, kicking someone in the face. Grumble, 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 grumble. It's a grunt. But I don't know if I know any grumbly goats, like actual goats, like for real goats. Oh, we should go to a petting zoo. Oh my gosh, grumble goat on a field trip. Matt has a grumble about my tomato plants. I love my tomato plants. He just doesn't like how it takes up the whole room. You know, it's understandable. Grumble, grumble, grumble. I wrote 2 new grumbles down that recently happened to me. Ugh, now I got to remember what they are. Oh, I remember. They're really good ones. I'm going to save them for you. I think they're really good ones. I hate grumbles. And that's the grumble.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
What?
Grumble, 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 grumble. What's got your goat?
For the latter half of the show, we'll bring in my lesser half, Matt, for a pretentious look and a segment we call
What's got your goat? Welcome, everybody, to episode 100 of your favorite podcast, The Grumble Goat.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
That's the one.
That's it. 100 episodes. We made it.
100 episodes in.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be complete if we didn't have one of our returning guest grumblers to help us celebrate the occasion.
We have our special guest, Kim Gant.
Hi, everybody.
Kim Gant, better known to the podcast as Kim Gur.
Yes, Kim Gur.
Kim
Gur. Not only has she hosted an episode before, but she is a frequent referred to guest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very flattered by that. by the
Yeah.
way.
Yes, we love that.
I hear my name and I just kind of give like a wave, even though you can't see
Yeah.
me. I'm like, that's me.
Wave the air. Yeah.
My little Miss America wave. Thanks
beautiful.
for having me back.
Yeah.
Of course.
Either you loved me so much or everybody else said no.
Yeah. 100 episodes.
100 episodes.
All right. So we've prepared a little song for you at home. All right. If we all sing it together. A 1, 2, 3, 4.
100 different grumbles, every week a different theme.
Ooh, I like it.
Woo, woo.
100
things
different giggles when he
Listen to us.
Yes.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
That's all I have.
1.
Yeah, that
I
was,
think that's
that
enough.
was the verse
yeah,
I figured
that's,
out in my head.
Yeah, we rehearsed that for how many hours did we rehearse
A
that
couple
before we started recording?
hours.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad we got that in one.
Yeah, totally. I
In
totally.
one.
Yes, I felt like it was important to have a special guest. So, what's your definition of a grumble?
Oh, we're getting deep this
Yeah.
episode. Let's really break the show down
Yeah.
this episode.
I
100
mean-
episodes in, I think it's finally time we define what a grumble
Yes,
is.
yes, definitely.
Kimger?
I feel like a grumble is something that annoys you inside that you don't think you can grumble about outside until you say, like, I really hate this thing. And other people are like, oh my God, me too. And then you're like, oh, thank God I'm not the only one who's in my brain being like, grumble, grumble.
Yeah, it's very much like eye contact on the subway. We're all trying to avoid it. We know it's annoying. Everybody just sort of looks at their feet. Nobody's looking at your eyes. And so it seems like everybody's passive, but we're really all struggling to not stare at each other's eyes.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what a grumble is.
Yes, that's the thing. We don't want to be that person. Oh, I don't want to complain about this.
The Krabby Patty.
The Krabby Patty.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like when you're walking through Times Square and you have to get somewhere as a New Yorker, but there are tourists in front of you that are walking slow, and it's like you're not going to be the one New Yorker screaming at them from
Right,
behind and
no.
saying like, "Get out of the way, you tourist!" But we're all thinking it.
We're thinking
Yes.
it,
Yeah.
and I won't verbally say it, but I will swiftly walk past them so that they know I have somewhere else to go.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
I'll step into the bike lane for a few steps and then step back in front of them and like make it clear like I'm in a huff walking around you, but I won't say it out loud.
Yes.
But then when I'm back in the apartment, Veronique,
Yes.
there were very slow tourists out in my way today.
No. What was with that? They don't have a guidebook. They don't know where to go.
And sure, the rest of our walk is devoted to that grumble.
It's devoted to talking about that for about 10 minutes, and then we move on.
Yeah.
For sure.
Veronique,
Grumble.
what does grumble mean to you?
A grumble to me is a daily annoyance that reoccurs in my life.
Yeah.
Even today, when I was outside taking the cat poo down to the dumpster, I witnessed rainy day dog poop everywhere on the street because
Yeah, we've
it
heard
was
that grumble from you.
raining.
Well, rain is an excuse to litter and leave dog poop around. And I think it was Biden that said that if it's raining, it's officially a purge. Laws don't matter during purges.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's good.
You can riot. You can do anything when it rains.
Let's
but
just
you're
have
right.
the water wash the sin away.
Yeah.
And the poop.
The water rushes. It's a baptism for the city.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what it is.
Clean.
That's what rain is.
Yes.
No, I like your point there. A grumble is something that happens more than once.
More than once.
Yeah. You
yes.
can't if it happens once, like if you stub your toe, that's not a grumble.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Absolutely. What does grumble mean to you?
Here's the thing about grumbles to Matt.
The king of grumbling.
Yes.
It's a minor annoyance that reminds you about the good things. Because life can't be good if you can't recognize the bad. And so when you have these little annoyances, the grumble reminds you that the good things are better.
Right. Because when something good happens to you, you're happy.
Right.
You're happier.
Grr.
Sure.
That's what a grumble is.
That's what a grumble is.
Yeah.
I like that.
A stab of reality.
Yes, it brings us to reality. Now, do you ever vocalize? Like Kim was saying, she's like, a grumble to me is like a guttural, like,
Oh my God, I love that. I love that. Let's do a couple vocals. Oh! Ooh, that was a good one. Ooh, yeah, I felt that one. Oh, wow. That
was good.
That felt a little more. That was more than a grumble. That was like, yeah.
There she
That
goes.
goes with an arm
That was
movement.
the side station conversation after the
Yes.
grumble because it has to be heightened when you relive it. When you're sharing the experience with someone else, it has to be heightened. That's sort of the
Cathartic.
premise of this. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
it's
sort of
cathartic.
what the podcast is all about. It has to be heightened a little bit.
Yeah.
Because rainy day dog poop just sits there.
It just sits there and
But
melts.
man, if we talk into a few microphones about it, all of a sudden we're amplifying it, right? It's everywhere.
I thought about doing a second episode. I need to bring this up again.
She's got an
When
album.
the poop is still there for weeks.
That's what I'm saying.
What about today? What have we experienced today? Let's grumble off. Like what's going on today that annoyed us?
Okay. So I have a really big problem with the sounds people make when they eat.
Oh, that's a good
So,
one.
like, there's somebody on the train today eating. Well, first of all, you should be eating. Could keep your mask on. But people who like
Scarf
like,
their food
chomp
down.
Oh, you were sitting next to a raccoon.
I wasn't next to them, but I was close enough to be like, do like the slow turn of like, who's making that noise?
Yeah.
Like the sounds that people make when they eat drive me insane.
Speaking of people eating on public transportation and like taking their masks off to eat, in airplanes, we have to keep our masks on. That's federally mandated now, but you're allowed to take your mask off to eat.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, this is a 90-minute flight. We all can't go 90 minutes without a snack?
No, we're
Well, not when the snacks are free. It's
Okay.
like I have to have this snack because it's not going to cost me any money.
That's right. I paid for this biscuit when I paid for my ticket.
These Cheez-Its, mine.
Yes.
And I will be chopping on them loudly so
Yes.
everyone hears me enjoying it.
Yes, I know yes. What do we think the first Grumble was?
I feel like the first Grumble has to be like a Tyrannosaurus Rex being like, why are my arms so short?
Well, wouldn't it have been like maybe like Adam and Eve?
Well, what would they grumble about?
What they grumble about? Oh, yeah, we can't have one apple.
Gosh, I don't know. Maybe like Adam's like she's like, Adam, pick up your stuff. You know?
Right, pick up your leaf clothes.
Adam, you left your fig leaf around again.
Cain and Abel. Oh, I guess maybe that was the first Grumble.
Cain and Abel?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first Grumble was Abel being like, ow.
I mean, cavemen probably only grumbled.
Well, they.
They're just like, this rock is heavy.
Yeah.
Well, I was watching a show last night, and it was a reality show about people alone in the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
They have clothes. They're not naked.
So not naked and afraid.
Not naked and afraid,
They're
but they have a
just
pack.
afraid.
But they are most definitely alone. So they're like YouTubing their experience, you know. And
Are you really alone if you have social media, though?
No, they're not posting about it. They're just recording.
What do you you just said YouTube.
Well, I just mean that's the style. They're going to set up a camera and then they're going to be like, okay, so today I foraged.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine after the apocalypse? There's like the only person that survived is like a social media influencer. And they just like set a rock on another rock and are like, so today we're going to discuss my healthcare routine during the post-world.
That's right. I got bitten by 3 spiders. I made this herb paste and I put it as a bandage. And this is how I did it.
Oh my God.
I like to bring a little red to my cheeks by just baking under the sun with no ozone layer left.
But wait, so what was the first Grumble?
What was the first Grumble? I'm picturing like cave people with like bones in their hands.
Cave people with bones in their hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, or were they like, why am I even here? You know, like when they look at all the animals.
Oh, they're all angsty millennials.
Yes. They're like, there's been 2 recessions, a war we just finished. The list goes on. A pandemic, blah, yada, 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 yada. Grumble, grumble, grumble.
For us.
Poor us.
us.
Exactly. I do love the caveman setting traps. I feel like, what if the trap weren't working? And that's the Grumble, that he can't figure out how to get the trap working.
Okay, they're just inept at their job.
Well, because with the evolution of like using tools opposed to just like grabbing a fish.
I feel a lot of Grumbles on the animal kingdom side. During the evolution of man, a lot of the Grumbles were like, hey, where'd you get that scar? Humans.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what are you doing up in that tree? Ugh, humans.
Why's your lip ripped open? Humans.
Matt, why don't you? What's your daily Grumble?
Did you have a grumbly today?
You know what? Yeah. I left out the apartment and I have to cross the street and I don't go to the crosswalk, right? I have to walk all the way to the crosswalk just across the street. I can just cross the street right outside of my apartment and a car's coming up. I jump back I'm like, I have to let the car go first because it can kill me.
Yes.
So I jump back and I let the car go first and then I cross the street. And I'm thinking there was one person in that car and I am also one person. And we both have just as much right to be in the streets of New York.
Yes.
Why did I have to jump back? I mean, obviously he's got a death machine. I mean, if instead of a car he had a gun, I would have also given him the right way.
To be like, I could die. Let me just scoot back here. And that person's like, he'll stop. He'll move.
Yeah, but that person also had the option to hit the brake and be like, oh, there's another New Yorker that has just as much right to the streets of New York as I do.
No, they were like, this dum-dum's walking out in the middle of the street.
But they were like, honk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. I've taken this time to think about what my Grumble is for today.
Okay.
I like to have the windows open. So I always like to have a crack of like a window. I have a lot of plants. I like plants too. And they also sit in the window. So on a particularly windy day, the dirt flies in from the window and gets all over everything. And it just, you can't ever get clean. And I know the answer to it is just to close the window.
Yeah, I feel like we have to hone in on what a grumble is. I think if something's within your control to stop, it's not a grumble.
But what if it happens overnight and I'm not awake? You know, like overnight, wind dirt flow in the kitchen is a grumble.
Let's turn this to our listening audience. Listening audience, if you feel the same way,
Reach
he's a
out
grumble.
to us. Tell us how you feel about it.
Tweet that out.
I mean, dust.
Dust.
Dust is a daily grumble.
Dust is a daily grumble. It does. It just gets so fast.
Where does it come from?
Well, you know where it comes from.
Oh, it comes from the air.
Skin.
No, it comes from your skin.
Ew, it comes from the skin, and now we have other people's skin because they leave the windows open.
See? Okay, wait, but like how long do those skin cells last?
What do you mean?
No, they're already dead. It's not like you trying to recreate it. It's not like a dust bunny. It's like, I will be Kim one day.
No, I mean say my skin cells are on this table, like how long, like do they disintegrate?
Well, I think they just break down and decay. I mean, they're already
They
decaying.
get into the air.
Yeah,
What I'm saying is, whose skin are we in right now?
yeah, exactly.
What do you think the aliens grumble about?
You know we love talking about aliens.
You know,
I mean,
love
you brought it up.
aliens. Yeah.
What are they grumbling about?
They're probably grumbling about the terrible radio we're sending out their way.
They're talking about skin cells being dust. Oh.
They even have a reason to grumble. They live in utopia. They figured it out.
Do they?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the aliens are stopping our nuclear wars. So
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So I think they're really grumbling about like, oh man, they're on the brink of another nuclear war.
They're going to do it again. I guess we have to create a fake fallout zone.
Do you think they get an alien newspaper of like, here's what the idiot humans are doing today? You're
right.
Yeah.
No, they have
Everyone's got
tablets or holograms.
It's like George Jetson. They have a hologram right there.
I feel like they have made special glasses.
That's what it is.
read-
for
see us.
their alien eyes that we understand that they have. They made
They're
glasses.
we need to block these idiots out. We're just gonna put these human blockers on your eyeballs.
Well, when you get your eyes rotated or just
Rotated?
like, well, you know, with the
That's what I call it.
the
Nobody
LASIK.
calls it that. I'm the only one that calls
Well,
it that.
this is the problem. This is my grumble about Matt, is that he gives names to things, and then I say the names to other people, and they look at me like I'm crazy, and then I have to talk about him. I wasn't talking about him. I was talking about something else.
Like, I've never heard of getting your eyes rotated.
Matt draws focus.
Yeah. And Miss Botox Police over here is probably looking at these aliens being like, well, somebody's had Botox when they just have like this straight green skin.
No, I definitely think that they have a lens in front of their eyes or glasses, because what would I do in looking at these screens with their eyeballs? And that goes to aliens looking at a hologram.
Yeah.
Is the hologram, like with the blue light, is it hurting their eyes that they need glasses?
I am worried about the aliens and their eyesight right now. And I'm glad you brought this up.
Do you think they grumble about their eyesight?
Maybe.
That's their major grumble. They're like, we have such big eyes, but we can't see anything.
Our ancestors used to be able to see the color blue, but since we created iPads, we have been able to see the color blue in generations.
Oh my God.
And yes, the aliens can't talk.
Well, their vocal cords don't work as well because they haven't spoken to each other, because they just text. Nobody phone calls anymore.
Of
Right.
course.
Hologram me.
Hologram me.
Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.
This has been a bonus episode of Grumble Goat.
Thanks for listening.
I'm Veronique Hurley.
I'm Matt LaBodka. Please subscribe.
You hate when people say, please subscribe.
Grumble, 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 grumble.
Let's just have the water wash the sin away and the poop.